Purpose was long before that, Bernie.
Yeah.
Long before that. If I didn't have a purpose before then, I'd be dead, mate.
Yeah.
You know? I believe I've been put here for a reason. And that reason is to simply show people to get off your ass and have a go.
Yeah.
That if he's a guy with all the challenges that he's had,
Yeah.
some physical,
Yeah.
some mental,
Yeah.
throughout his life,
Yeah.
could still fall out of bed every morning,
Yeah.
onto his trusty skateboard, and do what he needs to do every damn day.
Yeah.
What the fuck is stopping you? Bernie, there used to be this thing called the helicopter parent,
Mm.
you know, where they would hover over their kids.
Yeah.
And they would micromanage their kids.
Yeah.
You know? You'd be happy to know that the helicopter parent has now disappeared,
Yeah.
but it's been replaced by the lawn mowing parent. And the lawn mowing parent is the parent that gets out in front of their kids with a big fat fucking lawnmower
Yeah.
and clears the way.
Yeah.
So their kids go through life
Love it, mate. Love
without
it.
any struggles.
Love it. Yeah.
Without any struggles, they clear the
Yeah.
path.
Yeah.
So these kids never learn how to have resilience.
Yeah.
They never learn how to overcome challenges,
Yeah.
setbacks.
Yeah.
They never learn to think for themselves.
Yeah.
And by the time these kids get to 30 and have kids of their own,
Yeah.
then all of a sudden they're faced with a little hiccup or a little challenge that they need to overcome.
Yeah.
They got no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
What is wrong with being offended?
Yeah.
It gives us resilience.
Love it.
It teaches us shit. There is nothing wrong with being offended, and people think there is.
Beautiful, mate.
You know, I've been offended my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, all the time I stand in front of a mirror naked, I'm offended. How many blokes do you know that can stand up and his willy drags on the ground?
Stop it.
You know?
It's a family show, JC.
Not anymore, Bernie. We've got over that mark. But you know what? There is nothing wrong
Yeah.
with being offended.
Yeah.
Nothing. You cannot ever have a good tomorrow dragging yesterday behind you.
Beautiful said, mate. Beautifully said.
Never ever.
Well, dear people, welcome to yet another episode of A Journey with Bernie. I am so appreciative that you've decided to join us today. And I know I use the word all the time about excitement. I'm not going to say that I'm excited today. I'm going to say, let me have a think about it for a moment. I reckon I'm grateful. And I tell you what, JC Coutis, it's not you that I'm grateful for at the moment. I'm actually grateful to Adam Bell.
AB.
Hey, doesn't he go well with this Pod Pro Australia studio down here? You've been involved a few times down here?
Yeah, I have, mate.
Yeah.
It's not too shabby, is it? Eh?
Yeah, no, he goes well,
all right.
mate. He goes well.
And when I mean AB, I don't mean Alan Border.
That's true, mate.
Who's
You mean
also
Adam
another-
Bell,
Yeah.
what is he, the proprietor, the bloody CEO, the general manager? I'm not quite sure what he is.
He'll take all of those tags, mate, let me tell you.
But we're very, very grateful, Adam. Thank you ever so much, mate, because it's you who have put us in touch today with a remarkable guest. Hey, I'm looking at JC Coutis. Now, I knew another man called JC, mate, but he goes back a few thousand years ago. Are you related?
Oh, well, I can't quite walk on water, Bernie, but I go close, mate. So, Yeah, in fact, I remember that I took 35 kids home on my first Friday at school.
Yeah.
They all asked me during the week what my name was. I told them it was Jesus Christ. None of them believed me, so I took 35 kids home on the Friday. My dad pulled in and saw all these kids in the front yard. I went, Jesus Christ, what are all these kids doing here?
Well, buddy, you say you're not related, but I tell you what, mate, there's a chance looking at you right now, and our dear listeners, you'll catch up with JC. Just please Google him. Please go onto social media. You're going to be in touch with a remarkable man, a remarkable story, doing remarkable things. I'm looking at a man here who has no legs. JC, if I said you had half a body, would that be an apt description?
No, mate, not at all.
Give us the proper description.
Well, I think I'm full in stature in mind and heart,
Beautiful, pal.
but my body's just a little bit different than most.
Yeah, that's right, mate. That's right. But it's how you've responded to this scenario or this situation that makes you remarkable. Now, I know it's going to sound funny. I made a reference to the great JC. Now, I'm just going to say that in some ways, mate, people would look upon you and say there's a miracle in front of them, mate. Have you performed a miracle, mate?
No, not at all, mate. Not at all. In fact, again, in the era that I come from, and my beautiful nan who's now passed away, and a lot of her friends in that generation,
Yeah.
often believed in miracles.
Yeah.
And things. And I'm not saying that I don't believe in miracles,
Yeah.
but it's life is a very blessed thing, Bernie.
Yeah, but buddy, if it's not a miracle, what am I referring to? I'm referring to how you have responded to the game of life, mate. It dealt you an interesting card, huh?
Not just me; it dealt my parents an interesting card to start
You're
with.
spot on, pal. You're spot on. But how you've responded, buddy, there would be so many people who have dealt cards that are far less potent than the one that's been dealt to you and your environment and your family. But, mate, they haven't responded like you have. It's almost, I'm playing with words here, but it's almost miraculous, mate. How do you look upon it, Chase?
Well,
how do you look upon yourself and how you've responded to this remarkable scenario?
Bernie, it all comes back to how I've been raised.
Elaborate.
You're talking about, how I've responded. It's not how I've responded. It's how I was raised and taught to respond to things.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that kids, like animals,
Yeah.
are a product of their environment.
Yeah.
And we only have to look around in society today to see all these delinquents that are running crazy
Yeah.
because they have shit-ass environments that they live in or that they're surrounded by.
Yeah.
How did I respond to my dealt cards? Was the way that my parents taught me to respond.
Wonderful, mate.
And not just me, and my brothers and my sister too.
Yeah.
I have two brothers that are mentally retarded.
Amazing, pal.
Not really, I just tell them that they are. So, because they look like they are, actually.
Right.
But, if I didn't have the parents that I've had and the way that they raised us, fuck knows how I'd be.
Yeah.
And you're right, as you get older, you get to make choices and you get to do things a little bit your way. And again, that's come back to my parents in the way that they've raised us,
Well, buddy, let's go back to that time where your parents were creating that environment for you. What was it that they did? What was it that they said? What was it that they provided for you that enabled you to respond so positively to the card that life dealt you?
That's easy. One word.
Go for it.
Life.
Yeah.
Because in the era that I come from, Bernie, it was legal to terminate a birth.
Yeah.
If you didn't want to terminate, you'd toss your kids away in institutions.
Yeah.
Very rarely were they ever taken home
Yeah.
because society didn't allow them to be taken home. Parents were too ashamed to have disabled children.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be frowned upon and looked down upon. When my mum and dad said, fuck that, the birth that my mum gave me was a very challenging one for her,
Yeah.
and very difficult. And Then when I was born, the doctors told them I was going to die, that I wouldn't survive a day. Not one day, Bernie.
Yeah.
You know, and 54 years later, I'm going good, and those doctors are fucking dead.
Yeah.
You know. But I wouldn't be able to do what I do today if it wasn't for my parents that I've had. And I'm not saying that everybody are good parents, because not everybody is great parents.
Yeah.
There are some arseholes out there.
Yeah.
There are some people out there that should not be parents.
Yeah.
And they've got 4 or 5 different kids to 3 or 4 different blokes.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not saying that everyone is like my mum and dad, and it was challenging at times. I mean, and let me tell you, one thing that I have learnt from growing up in the family that I grew up in, there's 3 key ingredients in life to raise your kids, and it's love.
Yeah.
And I struggle, Bernie, with 20% of women have, what do you call that, postnatal depression.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, 5% of men have that too.
Yeah. Did not know that.
Right?
Yeah.
20% of women, 5% of men.
Yeah.
And I struggle with that.
Yeah.
These beautiful mothers to be
Yeah.
carry this unborn child around for months and months and months and months and can't wait to hold this baby.
Yeah.
And then when they go through the delivery and the birth,
Yeah.
something happens to them.
Mm.
And I can't imagine what that's like for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it must be heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. But loving your children unconditionally is a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, good and bad.
Yeah.
And then there's time,
That's interesting.
because you can't get it back.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you now, Bernie, that you are not doing anything that is so damn important in your life that you can't stop for 2 fucking minutes and give time to your kids.
Now, I want you to stop there, pal, because guess what? Occasionally I just hear something that I think's worth repeating. I think you should repeat that.
You know, the second ingredient in life is time, because you can't get it back.
Yeah.
And as I said, because you are not doing anything that is so damn important, you cannot hang up that phone that is so damn important that you can't give your kids 2 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
They're not asking for a day.
Yeah.
They're not all asking for, you know, shitloads of stuff. They want 2 minutes of your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
And the third ingredient
Yeah.
is discipline.
Yeah.
Now, I grew up in a house, a tough house.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit about my mum and dad. My dad's Greek. My mum's a woman.
Yeah.
So we grew up in that mixed marriage, you know. And we grew up with a lot of discipline, because when we stepped out of line, we deserved what was coming.
Yeah.
And quite often, you know, we got disciplined. But we also got told we were loved, we got hugged, we got guided.
Yeah.
And the thing about discipline, Bernie, when you're young, if you get it, you turn it into self-discipline as you get older.
Got it.
And a lot of these kids are lacking that today.
Yeah.
And a lot of parents are lacking that today.
Mate,
You know?
why do you think the parents today are struggling, mate? Why is it, compared to the parents, the environment, the generation that you're talking about, you've got an observation that there's a whole host out there that are struggling. Why are they struggling today where maybe they weren't in yesteryear?
You know, I can't say that it's any harder today than what it was then when we were being raised.
I agree with that.
Right, I can't say that. Times are different.
Yeah.
You know, but I remember when interest rates were 18, 19, 20%.
Bingo. I remember that.
And people are whinging and bitching, and now that they're 4%.
Yeah.
You know, why are they whinging and bitching? Because they live outside their means.
Yeah.
That's why they're whinging and bitching.
Yeah.
They want everything and they want it now.
I think now you're hitting the nail on the head there, mate.
So, and Bernie, there used to be this thing called the helicopter parent.
Mm.
You know, where they would hover over their kids.
Yeah.
And they would micromanage their kids.
Yeah.
You know. You'd be happy to know that the helicopter parent has now disappeared.
Yeah.
But it's been replaced by the lawn mowing parent. And the lawn mowing parent is the parent that gets out in front of their kids with a big fat fucking lawnmower
Yeah.
and clears the way.
Yeah.
So their kids go through life
Love it, mate. Love
without
it.
any struggles.
Love it. Yeah.
Without any struggles, they clear the path.
Yeah.
So these kids never learn how to have resilience.
Yeah.
They never learn how to overcome challenges,
Yeah.
setbacks.
Yeah.
They never learn to think for themselves.
Yeah.
And by the time these kids get to 30 and have kids of their own,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they're faced with a little hiccup or a little challenge that they need to overcome,
Yeah.
they got no idea how to do it.
Yeah.
So what do, Bernie? They run back to their parents.
So, JC, nail it right now. Speak to the parents right now, mate. You got 1 minute. And if you had to say, hey, parents, I need you to focus on this because this is so vitally important to your kids and the generation of human beings to come. Parents, what are you saying to them, JC?
Are you doing a good job? If not, why not? You know, as I said, I understand things are very different to when I grew up.
Yeah.
But can you be doing better?
Yeah.
Your job is to be the best damn parent that you possibly can be for your kids. You know why? Because then they can be the best damn parent that they can be for their kids.
Yeah.
And so on. And it gets passed down the fucking line.
Yeah.
You know? Not being a part-time parent. Get out there and do your best.
Yeah.
Be there for your kids.
Yeah.
Teach your kids how to love. Tell your kids it's okay to say, I love you. Hug your kids, discipline your kids, and give them the time that they need.
Dear people, this is not an interruption to the podcast. It is a beautiful invitation for you to join a journey with Bernie, April 2024 in Nepal to experience Kathmandu, Kagandra Vocational School for 550 disabled children, and of course, the enormous, the magnificent Himalayas. The spirit of Nepal will invade your soul, the peace and the calm of the people. It's not something you can just get anywhere. You will learn so much from your experiences around Kathmandu. And of course, that mighty adventure, that wonderful, glorious trek to the magnificent Himalayas where you will have a first-hand encounter with Sagarmatha, Mother Goddess herself, Mount Everest. Dear people, this is unforgettable. This is an experience that will invade every fibre of your body. It is not possible to return as the same person that left. +61 412 982 444. Text me, dear people. Text me on that number and I will have an information kit to you. Your private invitation to join us in April 2024. Nepal is calling you.
You know, somebody asked me just a couple of days ago what I thought of what's going on in Egypt and Gaza. And you know what I said to him? It's not that I don't care. I can't comment because I don't know enough.
Yeah, lovely.
I'm not educated enough. I'm not living there.
Yeah.
I'm not going through what those people have got. Mate, I can tell you that conflict is an issue.
Yeah.
It's terribly sad that people have lost their lives.
Yeah.
You know, I feel horrible for that. But please don't sit there and ask me my opinion on it.
Absolutely, mate.
Because I can't tell you.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, Bernie, I hate grey matter.
Yeah.
It's either yes or no. It's either I will or I won't. You know what grey matter is? Confusion. Confusion. And this is good. And I hate talking about politics, right? To me, there's 3 things that I was raised that you should never, ever talk about.
Yeah.
Because it starts conflict, it starts wars, and it's, number 1 is politics.
Yeah.
Who you vote for is no one else's business.
Yeah.
Number 2 is religion.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a difference.
Yeah.
And number 3 is how much money you earn.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with anybody else. Okay, nothing to do with anyone else.
Hey, JC, we're talking about so many different things, so many...
Tangents?
Yeah, we are, buddy. So, but I want to come back to that view that's developed over time of self, mate, because at the heart of it, this is a bloody big message for people. How do you see yourself? How do you see your own value? So try this for a question, mate. As a result of your experience of life, we're coming to the current day, what are some of your values that you just wish a whole host of other people might consider because you figure that it might serve them well? Share what your values are that are uncompromisable.
Mate, loyalty.
In what parts of life are you talking about loyalty where it's absolutely uncompromisable?
Mostly friendship.
Yeah.
Mateship.
Like that.
Let me ask you, Bernie, and you've been in a few limos in your day.
Yeah.
Right. How many friends do you know that would get in that limo with you?
Yeah.
Shitloads, right?
Yeah.
The hanger-oners,
Yeah.
the do-gooders,
Yeah.
the people that just want to go on that fun ride.
Yeah.
How many people in that same group is going to get on that fucking bus with you?
Yeah.
That's the question. And those ones that get on that bus, they're the ones you want to have in your life for the rest of your life.
Interesting. My answer as you asked the question was possibly the ones to whom I have invested my time, my energy, my goodwill to them.
Mm-hmm.
Are probably the ones in which the connection remains strongest over time.
It's not always about what you put in, but also what you get back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people will jump in that limo. A lot of people will hang out that sunroof.
Yeah.
Yahoo and clink champagne glasses inside there. But how many people are going to ride that bumpy road on that bus with you, mate? And they're your friends.
Yeah. So,
they're
buddy,
we
got loyalty. Give us another one of your values, mate, that's just so dear to you. It's uncompromisable.
Well, you know, I do believe in ethics and morals as well. And Bernie, I've made a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
I've been burnt by a lot of people, you know, and listened to a lot of shit that I probably shouldn't have listened to, but it was, you know, you listen to them and you learn these lessons along the way, you know. So I think that's also very, very important. I also believe in, you know, let's come back to parenting. I think that's essential.
Yeah.
What you put into your kids.
Yeah. I thought that was a great message you had before, mate.
You know,
don't be a half a parent.
You don't be a half a parent.
Yeah.
You know, I'm you know, Michael Whitney, the great Australian cricketer.
Yeah.
I'm his brother. I'm his half brother, half wit. If you're listening, Roy, g'day, mate. Long time no see. We need a beer. You know, I just want people to do their best.
Yeah.
You're not dead. I've been dead.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
I was in a coma for a month.
Yeah.
Died twice.
Yeah.
Family was told 8 times I wouldn't survive.
What age?
It was only 12 years ago.
Yeah. Oh.
Not long ago.
Yeah.
I was fucked.
Yeah.
The old Gold Coast Hospital.
Mm.
You know, there was one of the Friday nights there when the bosses of the ICU went to Leanne and said that if somebody comes in tonight, we need a life support system. We're turning John's off. Because he's the one that's least likely.
May I ask, you can pass on the question, mate, what created that experience? Like
just my body breakdown.
Wow, okay, mate.
My body had had enough.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realise how sick I was.
Yeah.
Typical male, mate.
Yeah.
You know, typical male.
Yeah.
You know?
What do you mean by that?
Well, males aren't renowned for taking care of themselves.
Yeah.
Males are renowned to picking up the mat and brushing it under and dropping the mat back on it, mate.
What, mate? Ego was telling you that you were someone else when in fact you weren't?
No, I don't think it's ego. I think it's ignorance.
Right, okay. That's lovely.
You know, I don't think it's ego.
Yeah.
I think everybody has an ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did Skyhook say? Ego is a dirty word.
Yeah. Well
so
played.
true, good old show.
Yeah.
What a bloody legend he was, mate.
Great song too, eh?
Great group.
Ego is not a dirty word.
You know, and horror is
horror movie.
All about the news on the TV every night at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I just think, like, everybody has an ego. Some people's ego needs to be brushed.
Yeah.
You know, some people's ego need to be dunked in tar.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I think ego is good and bad.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so.
And mate, how did you work your way? Like that sounded like a pretty dark moment. When you're in the hospital there.
Yeah.
That's 12 years ago, mate.
Yeah.
But so I don't think I'm mentally and emotionally seeing that person right here and now. So how did you start to work your way out of that dark spot?
I woke up, Bernie.
Elaborate.
Well, I was in hospital.
Yeah.
I don't know. I got sick and when we were on holidays and Leanne said to me, because I said, I just don't feel right. I can't quite work it out, you know. And she said, come on, I'll take you to hospital. And I went, I don't want to go to hospital. You know what happens when you go to hospital?
Yeah.
You die.
Yeah.
And I'm glad she convinced me to go
Yeah.
because I would have died in the bed next to her that night.
Yeah.
And I woke up. Actually, I woke up. It was Christmas Eve
Yeah.
that I woke up.
Mm.
And I woke up to what I thought were the sounds of poker machines. I could hear all this dinging in it. I thought I'd fallen asleep in a club somewhere.
Right.
But you know what it was, Bernie? My life support system.
Right.
I won something that no poker machine can give you.
Yeah.
I won my life back.
Yeah.
And for the next 6 or 7 weeks,
Yeah.
I was on a battle.
Yeah.
I was on a battle just to be able to sit up straight.
Yeah.
And with the love of my wife and my son and the support that I had and needed around me,
Yeah.
that's why I'm here today.
Yeah. 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 What's your purpose, John? What purpose evolved out of a situation like that starts to give you energy and love of life?
The purpose was long before that, Bernie.
Yeah.
Long before that. If I didn't have a purpose before then, I'd be dead, mate.
Yeah.
You know, I believe I've been put here for a reason. And that reason is to simply show people to get off your ass and have a go.
Yeah.
That if he's a guy with all the challenges that he's had,
Yeah.
some physical,
Yeah.
some mental,
Yeah.
throughout his life,
Yeah.
could still fall out of bed every morning,
Yeah.
onto his trusty skateboard, and do what he needs to do every damn day.
Yeah.
What the fuck is stopping you?
Yeah.
Now, a little while ago, let me tell you this story. I was on tour in country New South Wales.
Yeah.
And this is a story about people's reactions when they see me and how different they are.
Hmm.
And what I've learnt over the years, Bernie, is that you most certainly cannot control what other people do or what other people say.
Bingo.
But what you can control is your own reaction
Yeah.
and your own thoughts.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm on tour. And I had my mobility scooter with me, which I've only just started taking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I used to go on tour, I was on my skateboard, and that still comes with me. But after I do my gigs during the day, I would just go back and sit in my hotel room, sit on my bed and do nothing, besides work on a computer or watch TV, right? And I was finding that I needed to get out. A little bit awkward going through town on a skateboard if you wanted to buy stuff. And so I decided to take my scooter, which has been great. Right? Anyway, I'm on tour. And I'm down in this country town for about a week. And I got a few days into the tour and I needed to get some laundry done. Right? So I jumped on old Googles and found where a laundromat was and bagged up my dirties and jumped on the scooter and away I go. It's about 800 metres from where I was staying. And I found the laundromat and there was a little step to get inside. The scooter couldn't go up that step, which was okay. I'm not whinging and bitching, right? So I tooted the old horn, beep, beep, and this lady comes out. And Bern, I knew she was old.
Yeah.
Because her name was Marion. Right? Not a common name used these days.
No.
Straight away I thought of Mrs. C off Happy
She
Days.
might have been Catholic too, mate.
Yeah, actually she probably could have been. However, her response, she looked at me, Bernie. She looked me up and down.
Yeah.
And the very first thing she said to me was, "Where the fuck is the rest of you at?" I went, "What?" She said, "Where's the rest of you at?" And I could not stop laughing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Now, I know people that if they were confronted by that, going, "Oh, shut up, you stupid old fucking bag," and blah, blah. What good's that?
Yeah.
What good is that? Anyway, I gave her my laundry.
Yeah.
And I said, "Look, dear Monty, can I come back tomorrow and pick it up?" And she said, Yep, no worries. I was laughing so much on the way back to the hotel, I ran into 2 garbage cans, right, on the scooter. Fucking bang, bang.
Yeah.
I go back the next day.
Yeah.
Pull up out the front.
Yeah.
Toot, toot. Beautiful old Marion comes out. We have a bit of banter as we do.
Yeah.
She gives me my bag of ironed laundry. And I give her my phone to go and tap and go, right, as we do these days, technology. And she said, "Oh, no, it's okay. I've done it for free."
Wow.
And I've gone, "Marion, why would you do that?" I said, "I can pay, please." She said, "Oh, no. There were no long pants or socks. It was easy to do." I went, "You cheeky bitch." So those same 2 bloody garbage cans I hit yesterday, I hit them again on the way back. Mate, it was seriously one of the funniest moments. People's reactions.
Yeah.
But there were so many ways that I could have looked at that, Bernie.
I think now we're getting to the point of that story, mate.
So many ways I could have looked at that.
Yeah.
And my reaction to that could have made it a good or bad thing for either of us.
Yeah. But what I hear there, mate, is how many times we get distracted by stuff that we want to judge or put a friggin' label on it, when guess what? It's only a reflection of the other person, so bloody cop it and run with it and enjoy it.
Yeah, well, you can't control it.
Yeah.
You can't control what they say.
Yeah.
Man, I've had some shit said and done to me throughout my years, Bernie.
But the difference is,
my
JC,
reaction.
You've got to that place where you can react that way, mate. We've got a whole host of listeners here who are still wondering, how do I get to that place where I don't get so sensitised by what people are saying?
And again, that comes up to my upbringing.
Yeah.
That's how I was raised.
Yeah.
Today's day and age, we're Australians.
Yeah.
We're larrikins. We're known for taking the piss out of ourselves and each other.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, oh shit, don't say that to them because they might be offended. So you know what? Get fucking offended.
Yeah.
What is wrong with being offended?
Yeah.
It gives us resilience.
Love it.
It teaches us shit. There is nothing wrong with being offended, and people think there is.
Beautiful, mate.
I've been offended my whole life.
Yeah.
All the time I stand in front of a mirror naked, I'm offended. How many blokes do you know that can stand up and his willy drags on the ground?
Stop it.
It's
a family show, JC.
Not anymore, Bernie. We've got over that mark. But you know what? There is nothing wrong with being offended.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And if I've offended anyone today, seriously, stiff shit. No, I'm being very serious.
I know you are, mate. But now I'm coming back to a question that we asked around about half an hour ago, which is about your values. And now I've got a third one, mate. I've got loyalty.
Yep.
You said ethics and morals.
Yep.
That is standing for something.
Yep.
And right now you're saying, love yourself enough so that you're not offended by other people. You summarise it in a single word. What's that? What do we call that? That is a value.
Oh, mate, I don't know if you can love yourself enough that you're not offended. I want to love yourself enough that it's okay to be offended.
Love it, mate. Bingo. You nailed it.
It's okay to be offended.
Yeah.
As humans, as Australians, we used to have a thick skin.
Yeah.
We used to have nicknames.
Yeah. And we used to laugh at ourselves. How important is that ability?
Well, if you can't laugh at yourself, you've got no right at laughing at anyone else, Bernie.
Yeah, bingo.
Absolutely no right at laughing at anyone else. And as I said, mate, when I stand naked in front of a mirror, I'm laughing at myself. But you got no right at laughing at anyone or along with anyone unless you can sit there and laugh at yourself first, mate.
Yeah.
And I was taught from a very young age to be laughing at myself.
Yeah.
And let me tell you.
That wasn't easy, but, mate, was it early
of course it
on?
wasn't easy. Yeah, I looked at my brothers. I still remember when my old man, I was about 10 years of age, and I was sitting on our front balcony.
Yeah.
And I was watching my brothers ride around on their push bikes, the old BMX, the old Melvin Stars.
Yeah, I remember those, mate. That was one of my first.
You kids, you got no idea what a Melvin Star is. You need to Google it up a picture, mate. I'm telling you.
Like a dragster.
They were a dragster. Yeah. Some of them had a sissy bar, some didn't. And let me tell you, I used to watch them. And this particular day, my old man came out. He was a big fat Greek guy.
Yeah.
And he sat down next to me.
Yeah.
And he slapped me. up the back of the head. And he said to me, instead of whinging and bitching about the shit you can't do, look at the things you can do.
Bingo, mate. Do you remember that day?
I remember that day like it was yesterday, Bernie.
Like, is that the first time that he said it, or
First time.
Yeah,
First
and you still remember it.
Still remember it. Changed my life.
Where was the place?
It was in North Richmond, 69 Grosvenor Road.
What time of day was it?
It was about mid-morning. My brothers are riding around the front yard.
Where were you?
What do you mean, where was I?
Where were you? Out in the street? Were you in the house?
I was on the balcony of the front porch.
And Dad said?
And my old man said to me, instead of whinging and bitching about the shit you can't do, look at the things you can do.
Oh, mate, I'm tearing up, mate.
You know, and a lot of people don't say that to their kids today. Kids need to hear it.
Yeah.
You know, stop whinging about the shit you can't change, the things you can't do. Get on with what you can do.
Yeah.
Make that happen.
How did you make that happen for you, mate, when the reminders of, what life's dealt you were people were letting you know inadvertently, non-verbally, verbally, all around you, mate, and yet you somehow have been able to turn your back on all that crap and just arrive at a point where you're just focused on what you can do and you can maximise life, JC.
You know how I did that, Bernie?
I want to know. That's why I'm asking the freaking question, mate. It's my podcast.
Let me tell you, Bernie, that's a very, very simple answer. No matter how bad you think you are, there is always someone so much worse. Always.
Yeah.
And no matter how good you think you are, there is always someone better.
Yeah.
And that makes us want to strive to be the best that we can possibly be, whether it be in sport, in life, as parents, as kids, as humans.
Yeah.
We should be striving to do each and every bloody day is to be the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
That's where schools come into play,
Yeah.
because they want to help all these kids be the best versions of themselves.
Yeah.
Some parents don't give a rat's ass.
Yeah.
Most parents want their kids to be the best versions of themselves. And let me tell you something else.
I think they want them to be the best version of the bloody parents. The parents want them to be a doctor so that the parents can turn around and say, that's my kid. Yeah. That's more a reflection of the parent than it is the kid.
Yeah, mate. Well, there are some parents that want to live through their kids.
Bingo.
Whether it be sport or professions or what it might be,
Yeah.
Instead of letting their kids make these choices. Sure, you can guide them and offer them advice. But you know what, Bernie, I think up until the age of maybe 10 or 11 or even 12, they're not kids.
Yeah.
You know what they are? Sponges.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because everything they see around them, everything that they hear, they are copying. And let me tell you, there's an old adage, actions speak louder than words. You only got to watch footage of kids copying their parents and how true that is.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And it will stick with them forever.
Yeah.
And probably that's why I remember my old man saying that to me.
Yeah.
Because not the fact that he just said those words, but the action that went along with it was to slap up the back of the head.
Yeah.
And that's why I've never forgotten it.
Buddy, I'm using different words, but I reckon one of the things you just said before is stop falling into the trap of comparing yourself with others.
Can I elaborate on that?
You bingo. That's why I bloody fed you the line, mate. So you run with it, okay? Come on, fish.
That's a big fucking hook too, mate. Let me tell you, Bernie, there are so many people that look over the fence and think the grass is always greener on the other side. You know what I say to that? Water your own backyard.
Yeah.
Take out your sprinkler and your hose and water your own goddamn backyard.
Yeah.
And stop losing the focus on what you have.
Yeah.
And make those bastards, the ones that you're looking into their yard, make them look over the fence into your yard.
Yeah.
And want what you have.
Yeah.
And the only person you should compare yourself to is yourself.
Yeah.
Look at where you've come from 10 years ago. 5 years ago, 2 weeks ago. Look at where you are. I can't compare to you. You can't compare to me.
Bingo.
We're completely different people. You might find inspiration in you, and I might find inspiration in me. But we shouldn't be comparing. But you compare yourself to yourself. Thinking, holy shit, look how far I have come. I'm doing so good. Or fuck, I went backwards in that. I need to do better.
So let me ask you, JC, like, where have you grown? Where have you evolved? What makes you a better person today than you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
Well, the shit that I've learned along the way, mate.
Elaborate. Give us a couple of
the
big
people,
points, mate.
The people that come into your
Rock
life.
us.
Well, let's look at. I'll give you one very deep point.
Yeah.
Again, we all come through COVID.
Yeah.
Right. And I found myself, because my work completely stopped.
Yeah.
Because of COVID.
Yeah, true.
No live events. No travelling.
Got to understand, so it's in the same game, mate.
Yeah,
so know the feeling.
You know the feeling, right?
Yeah.
My beautiful wife, God love her, pushed herself to the brink and went out and got a job.
Yeah.
And was working 12-hour days, 10-hour day on a Friday. She did it for 2.5, 3 years, and nearly fucking killed herself just to keep us afloat.
Yeah.
It was hard.
Yeah.
It put some very big challenges on our relationship, on our friendship.
Yeah.
And as Tom Hanks once said, this too will pass.
What movie was that one, mate?
Not in a movie.
Right.
But he said this too will pass.
Yeah.
Whether it's good, this too will pass. Whether it's bad, this too will pass.
Yeah.
And you know what? It has.
Yeah.
And we're all coming out the other side. My work's picking back up. I've got tours happening left, right and centre.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah.
And now my wife is able to slow down and take a bit of time for herself, which she is so needed.
Is that a strategy? I use the word strategy, mate. Is that something you do regularly when you find yourself in a moment of pressure, a moment of negativity? I can't believe you'd even be in it, but you just sort of like say to yourself all the time. You just go to, this too will pass. Do you use that a lot?
Going through COVID, no.
Yeah.
I found myself, Bernie, like many, in the shower for hours crying in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Thinking, what the fuck's happened?
Yeah.
Here I went, I was somebody.
Yeah.
I was not top of the game, but up there amongst the leaves.
Yeah. You've written the book?
Long time ago.
Yeah.
And I just struggled.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was one of the most mentally strong people, because of what I've been through.
Yeah.
But this nearly killed me. And it killed people. I'm not saying that the flu or COVID or whatever else.
The lack of purpose.
The lack of purpose, the mental state.
Yeah.
Wipe people out.
Yeah.
The frustration.
Yeah.
The financial accountability.
Yeah.
Where am I going? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
It fucking wiped people out. And I was nearly one of those people.
JC, I have this belief that when people go through pain and chaos and suffering, you just described a suffering moment, mate, okay? But if you're still dedicated to maximising your life, right? So there's one force. I still want my life. I still want my life to be something, but I'm suffering at the moment. You gotta handle that dilemma. And 9 times out of 10, you come out of it with a greater benefit. You learn something greater. What did you learn from that period?
You're too
of
deep
time?
again, Bern.
No, come on, JC.
No,
give us something
that
you learned from
I'm
the
being
pain
serious.
and the chaos.
Let me be serious, right? You got to keep it simple.
I got you, mate. I got you. Answer the question.
Arsehole.
Answer the. What did you learn, JC, about JC? Because guess what? You just said before, I'm one of these most mentally strong people, and there you are in COVID suffering.
Yep.
Okay, so what did you friggin' learn about the greatness of JC as a result of that experience?
Something very simple, Bernie.
Gotta love it. Here it comes.
I'm not dead yet.
And give us a little bit more. I understand what you mean by that, JC.
Well,
what are you saying to us?
I'm saying that you're not dead yet.
Yeah.
Saying that you're still alive.
Yeah.
You still got to go. You still got a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And as I said to you earlier, there are so many people worse off.
Yeah.
And you're still going.
Bingo, mate. Yeah.
You're still going.
Yeah.
So you need to stand up.
Yeah.
And fight.
Yeah.
For what you want in your life. And what I want in my life is to have life.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be able to continue to do what I do.
Yeah.
you know. But
Sure.
I'm not a deep person, Bert.
I know you're not,
but
mate.
sometimes, and sometimes there are you will never find those deep answers in people because
That's
they
okay.
don't,
That's
because
fine, buddy.
because they don't know.
They don't know, and sometimes they're just not aware. Can I give you an example?
Please
I'll give you an example, mate. So we're going to reverse the role over here.
Here we go.
Here, mate. See, 6 or 7 years ago,
Yep.
my COVID was not the disease or the pandemic. It was when I was given notice of separation and divorce to come, you know, mate. Now, was I expecting it? Partially, right? Because we'd had a beautiful discussion about 9 months earlier that had discussed about the longevity of the marriage, and we had decided to persist.
Yep.
And if someone said to me, what were the highlights of your marriage? I would have said that 2 of the 10 were in those last 9 months. You know, I was thinking, okay, things are sort of moving forward here. Hey, lo and behold, I got the notice, all right? Let me just simply say that what followed for the next year and a half was perhaps the most deepest, painful, chaotic period of my life. Now, watch my hand here, mate. It starts with deep, relentless, in the corner pain. You were describing that yourself before, mate. And just slowly but surely it started to fade away, you know. As it started to fade away, the question around how do I still maximize life despite this unexpected event, right? And so I got this force up here. What do I need to do to grab this moment in my life, this event in my life, but still maximize it despite the pain and the chaos? Buddy, I could only come up with one answer. And you're going to say to me, too deep, Bern. I'm just going to let you know what it is. Here's what I learnt, mate. Ready? I learned as a result of that I had a far greater capacity to love life, people and Bernie than I ever had before. And what I needed, mate, was the friggin' pain and chaos to cause the reflection and reevaluation for me to understand what my depth of love could be. And, mate, you're looking at a fella right here and now, mate, who's never loved life more as a result of it. So thank you, pain and chaos, mate.
Nothing wrong with that, mate.
Nothing wrong with it, mate.
So you just said that, you went, your 9 months was great and everything else, and the inevitable was coming, right? And that was something that you couldn't control.
Well, it's something that if I could control, mate, I didn't take enough control to make it happen. But that, my dear friend, is another story.
There you go.
So, JC, you can understand what I've learned, and what I think a lot of people can learn great things from those chaotic moments of life, and they can actually be moments that actually serve the value of life, serve your life going forward for quite a period of time, for the rest of your life. So I'm going to come back to you, pal. Not letting you off the hook, mate. From that COVID experience, mate, you described it beautifully, shriveled up in the corner, mate. Oh, my God, what's happening? What did you learn over the last 2 years about JC that has been really beneficial and valuable to you, your wife, your family, your environment?
All of those things above, Bernie, is that how important your family is to have around you.
Yeah.
Your friends.
Yeah.
But as I said earlier, the people that ride that bus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've got a handful of mates that I'll put on that bus with me any damn day.
Yeah.
Because without them, and we all need to find people that we can talk to.
Yeah.
What I've realised coming out of that is I have anxiety.
Wow, JC.
Which is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Because it's shit that you can't control.
Yeah.
But you can learn to manage and deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's very important.
Yeah.
But in saying that too, I'm not the only one that's suffered that. Like you're not the only one that's ever gone through a divorce.
No, of course, mate. Of course, mate.
But some people think that they are.
Yeah.
Some people think it's their own little world and no one else has ever gone through it.
Yeah.
What a load of shit.
Yeah.
There's millions of people that have gone through divorces, millions of people that have had financial struggles. Terrible to say, but people have lost people.
Yeah.
Kids, parents, grandparents, accidents, drug abuse.
Yeah.
So many different things.
Yeah.
They're not the only one.
That's right, mate. That's right.
So you're not in it alone.
But what's interesting, I tell you what has helped me and what I think can help other people is how do you respond to those moments of disaster, pain and chaos? Here's how I responded, and I'm not advocating that it's the answer, right?
Yeah.
But I tell you what, it served me well. I
And
started...
as long as it did serve you.
Here it is.
Because your response might not be the response for other people.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Here was my response,
Yep.
mate. I looked back upon it and I said to myself, it's just all part of the journey.
Absolutely is.
Just all part of the journey. And you know what that does? It allows me to leave it back there.
Yep.
Rather than bring it forward into the current moment. I love what you're doing right here and now, but if people aren't watching the podcast, they can't see what you're doing,
I'm
mate.
giving him the finger.
But you give me the thumbs up finger.
You know, Bernie, let me tell you, mate, you cannot ever have a good tomorrow dragging yesterday behind you.
Beautiful said, mate. Beautifully said.
Never, ever.
Hey, buddy, what's in store for you for the next 3, 4, 5 years? What do you see in life for JC, mate? You've got so much to offer, mate, and it's growing.
Mate, it's coming back. It's coming back big time. I've got a few little plans for work on the books, which is great over the next 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
And then I want to continue that on.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying my speaking immensely.
That's interesting for me. Can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Are you a better speaker, coach, trainer, educator now than you were before COVID? Do you feel as if you do it better now than you did prior to COVID?
Only because I've had time to work on myself.
Yeah. Hello. It's
during COVID and get myself right.
Yeah.
And with technology and that, and I've been able to change up a few things in that way.
Yeah.
But been able to work on myself, and I'm still a work in progress.
Yeah.
That has improved.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you say you're still work in progress, mate, going forward, what do you want to work on? What is there to work on at JC that makes JC an even better human being than the beautiful one that's here?
Well, mostly my physicality, mate. I'd like to lose a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
And sprout legs and kick your ass. And,
I reckon there's been a few times in this podcast you wanted to kick my
Not at
ass,
all,
mate.
Maybe use your ball bags as a speedball, but no. Look, Bernie, in all fairness, I thoroughly enjoyed today.
Yeah.
It has been great.
Yeah.
And, hopefully we'll be able to do a couple more along the way.
Well, buddy, part of the reason, if it's perceived to be, a great discussion, is because, mate, I am speaking to a rarity, and please do not don't you misconstrue the word rarity there. I'm not talking about your physical form at all, mate. I'm talking about the way that you've responded to life's cards, mate. And you know it, JC. A heck of a lot of people out there get bad cards delivered. Well, welcome. That's part of life,
Of
mate.
course it is.
But the question is, how do you respond to it? Because when you get dealt the bad card, you got to read what the card says. How do you respond to this? Because there is the magic. There is the miracle, mate.
I'll finish off by saying this.
Go on.
I like playing poker. Thanks, Bernie.
No, you cannot finish off like that because that is a mystery, mate.
I like playing poker. I like looking at my cards.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I like looking around the table,
Yeah.
seeing what there is,
Yeah.
and playing the hand that's been dealt to me.
I like that, mate.
Because
I love that.
every day can be a different two cards.
Yeah.
Some day you might get the dead man's hand, ace-8.
Yeah.
Other days you might get pocket kings.
Yeah.
It's what you do with it, mate.
Beautiful, mate.
And there are times when you got to fold pocket kings, mate.
Yeah. What I like about what you just said is you got to play the hand that's dealt. Because, mate, I'll tell you where I can be guilty. Maybe other people can be guilty. We want to play the hand that's on the vision board.
Yeah, of course we do.
We want to play the hand that's in the bloody goal setting.
Or we wish and pray. I wish I had that hand.
Yeah, that's the dream part of it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not.
I wish I had more chips in front of me.
I'm not denying that that's not valuable, because by having the dream, it does help you to decide what to do today. But at the same time, life's going to deal you the hands, mate, aren't they?
Let me tell you something, Bernie. 2005, a very good mate of mine by the name of Joe Hasham won the World Series of Poker with a shitty hand. 7-3. The World Series of Poker, I think it was worth about 8-10 million US for the winner at that one run. 7-3 he had, Bernie. He was heads up with the last guy, him and this other guy.
Yeah.
7-3 offsuit.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you that don't know, 7 and 3 offsuit means that one was a heart, one was a club.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He went all in.
Yeah.
7-3.
Yeah.
You know what happened? He flopped a straight.
He flopped a what?
The next 3 cards on the table?
Yeah.
4, 5, 6. So he had a straight. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
He just won $10 million.
Yeah.
It's you choose to play them.
Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Yeah. Have the courage to play the hand, because you'll never know what what life's going to deal with.
Never
you,
know.
mate. No. Mate, I've got to thank you.
I've got to thank you.
Well, no, I'm going to thank Adam Bell first, mate, because he
doesn't need anything.
Well, you may thank you, Adam, for the opportunity, mate. But seriously, JC, there is so much gold in this. How do I measure that? Because I will go through this, mate, and I know that there is about 25 excerpts, 1 minute little pieces of gold that I'm going to be able to pull out of this and give to our listeners.
You're
mate.
welcome, mate.
And, mate, that is an absolute credit to the way that you have responded to the journey of life, mate, you know.
What's the alternative, Bert?
Not living. And
I know where I'd rather be.
Bingo, mate. And you are a testimony, an advocate of life itself.
Thanks, buddy.
JC, I just want to remind you, mate, you have been part of
Bernie's
a journey. Not a Bernie journey, mate. A journey with Bernie. Don't you try to sabotage my podcast,
Ladies
mate.
and gentlemen, thank you. And I've been a part of a journey with Bernie.
Cheers, folks. Love you
brother.
all. Bye-bye. Well, dear listeners, what did you think of that? Personally, I absolutely loved it. Now, what did I love about it? I just love that every story of our guest just lends itself for us identifying more actions and strategies, routines, disciplines on how you and I can become a more loving human being, one that can generate greater inner happiness within ourselves. Why? Let's bring meaning, greater meaning to our humble and beautiful lives. Now, I need you to spread the love with me. Are you in it with me? Because all you have to do is please press the follow button. What about subscriber? I need you to share these with your good friends and family. And I need your feedback, because I'm looking you in the eyes and I'm saying I am dedicated to taking this podcast to be absolutely world class. Why? I just want more people to embrace this beautiful game called life. Why not? Unless you believe in reincarnation, we're only getting one chance. Let's maximize it. Let's get on with the journey of life. Embrace it, enjoy it. Oh, and just remember this.